Hi there. I think you can hear me a little better, but I wanted to just remind us all to stay safe. And I was thinking today about Luke chapter 6, especially verses 41 on down through 42. Uh, you know, right now with the pandemic and all the things going on, it's easy to get a little irritable. And even sometimes to just kind of criticize one another. Uh, you know, as a family, it's easy to do things like pick at each other. Who left the top off the toothpaste? And to get a little irritated over every little thing. And Jesus in Luke chapter 6, verse 41, reminds us, he says, "And why do you look at the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, 'Brother, let me take out the speck that is in your eye,' when you yourself do not see the log that is in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the log out of your own eye, then you can see clearly to take out the speck that is in your brother's eye." Jewish humor is very different from ours, and it's very subtle sometimes. And really, this is a humorous remark from Jesus, the illustration that he gives us, parable. He says it's easy for us to see the speck in somebody else's eye and to be critical, but not to see that we have the same problem sometimes, or even a worse problem. Just imagine, if you will, what it would look like for me to come walking down the street and to offer to take the speck out of your eye, and I've got a 2x4 sticking out of my eye. So Jesus wants us to see how silly that is, how unhelpful it is, how it's a hypocrite who does that kind of thing. But we tend to all be a little more judgmental than we ought to be. One of my favorite poets is Edwin Markham, and he has a wonderful little verse that I try to remember. He says, and I quote, "There's so much bad in the best of us and so much good in the worst of us that it hardly behooves any of us to talk about the rest of us." Sometimes you and I just need to remind ourselves, hey, if I can't say something positive and good, maybe I ought not say anything. I mean, why make a big deal about leaving the top off the toothpaste? I've done that a few times. Or some other little thing that you just, get all irritated about. Maybe it's time to just kind of cool and say, let me remember. Criticizing and being judgmental doesn't help, and it may make me look ridiculous.